Are we alone in this universe? Are there other species out there more advanced than us that are silently watching our every move? Have they been here all along? There are many questions regarding extraterrestrials, but not enough answers. What we do have are stories from people claiming to have been abducted by aliens. Some of these stories sound completely insane. Here are 10 shocking alien abduction stories that will leave you speechless. Number 10. The Betty and Barney Hill case. This is one of the most well-known UFO cases in history. In September of 1961, a couple named Betty and Barney Hill were driving late at night through rural New Hampshire when they saw a bright object descending from the sky and landing near their car. They both agreed to remain in the vehicle, assuming it was some sort of military craft. As soon as it landed, however, strange beings approached their car, opening the door on the driver's side and ushering them out. They were then taken aboard the craft, where they were examined by even stranger beings who appeared to be the crew. After several hours, the couple was returned to their car with no memory of what had happened until later, when they began to recall bits and pieces of the encounter. Their story became the subject of multiple books, documentaries, and news articles, with many believing it to be the first credible alien abduction case ever recorded. 9. The Travis Walton case. Travis Walton claimed his alien abduction occurred while he was working for the U.S. Forest Service in 1975. He and his co-workers were cutting down trees near the Dry Gulch in the Apachesett-Greaves National Forest. It was then that Travis spotted a large orange glowing object hovering nearby. He went to investigate and was suddenly zapped by a beam of light, knocking him off his feet. His co-workers watched in horror as a beam of light shot up into the sky and carried Travis up with it. They assumed he was dead until 5 days later, when he turned up outside their camp in the same clothes, but without any memory of the previous week. While the details of his story are hazy at best, many believe Travis's story to be true, despite his co-workers initially thinking he was joking about the whole thing. 8. The Ariel School abduction. On September 12, 1994, over 60 students and 3 teachers at the Ariel School in Zimbabwe claimed to have witnessed a UFO land near the school. They then described how alien-like creatures with gray skin, large eyes, and small mouths approached them and ushered them onto the craft. The children were separated from the adults and taken on board. It was there they claimed to have been poked and prodded by the aliens before being returned to the jungle unharmed. Despite many believing this to be an elaborate hoax, there are a number of inconsistencies in the story which lend credibility to the claims made by the students and faculty. 7. The Fontana Alien Lovers. In 1992, a woman by the name of Maria del Carmen Bastera came forward claiming to have been abducted by aliens and impregnated by one of them. She had no idea she was pregnant until she gave birth to a baby girl with unusually large eyes, gray, scaly skin, large ears, and no hair. Locals immediately believed her story, convinced the child was an alien. After hearing her story, however, doctors performed tests on the child, concluding she was simply a human baby born with a rare genetic disorder. Despite this, Maria insists her daughter is the product of an alien pregnancy, and that she was the first of many women in the small town of Fontana, Arizona, who would come forward with similar stories. No, 6. The aliens who cured my cancer. A woman by the name of Anne says she was diagnosed with cancer in 2001, given only 6 months to live. Not long after her diagnosis, she was visited by aliens who took her on board their spaceship and cured her of the disease. She was then returned to Earth with a warning that humans were headed for destruction if they did unchange their ways. It's unclear whether or not Anne's story is true, but she has become a leading advocate for those claiming to have been abducted by aliens, even going so far as to pen a book about her experiences. No. 5. The alien baby. Kelly Johnson claims she was abducted by aliens and impregnated while in captivity. Upon becoming pregnant, she was returned to Earth, kept under surveillance by the aliens until her baby was born. According to Kelly, her abductors even broke into her house to steal the baby once it was born. Horrified by the thought of this, many believe Kelly's story to be false, pointing to the fact that if she was actually carrying an alien baby, it would have exhibited signs of accelerated growth, something Kelly denies. The truth of the matter is unknown, leaving us to wonder whether or not there are half-human, half-alien beings living among us right now. No. 4. The cattle mutilation incident. In the early 1990s, ranchers in the small town of Aurora, Texas, awoke to find their cattle mutilated beyond belief. At first, they assumed it was the work of some crazed killer, but quickly ruled this out when they realized how bizarre the killings were. It seemed as though someone had carefully removed the animal's internal organs with surgical precision. No blood was present at the scene, and none of the animals had been harmed in any way that could cause their deaths. To this day, no one knows for sure what happened to the mutilated cows, with some believing the culprit was a pack of wild dogs, while others insist aliens were responsible. No. 3. The alien autopsy. There's a video floating around the internet claiming to show the autopsy of an alien recovered during a secret mission in the 1940s. Many believe the grainy black and white footage to be authentic, while others point to inconsistencies such as the alien's fingernails, which appear to have been painted on. Regardless of whether or not it's real, the video certainly is disturbing, showing a team of men in gas masks standing around a steel table as they examine a decaying humanoid creature with large eyes and a hairless head. It looks like an emaciated old man, yet its fingers appear webbed, almost like a frog. We don't know for sure if this is a real alien autopsy or not. But if it is, it paints a rather grim picture of what life might be like on some distant worlds. No. 2. The alien implant. There have been numerous reports of people waking up with strange implants in their bodies, with many claiming the objects were inserted by aliens during an abduction. These implants often take the form of small metal rods or spirals and are typically found in places like the chest, arm, or neck. Hospitals have reported finding them in patients who have undergone surgery but deny inserting them. Even the military has gotten involved, investigating reports of implant removal from service members who have recently returned from tours in Afghanistan. With no conclusive evidence that these implants are from another world, they've been labeled a mystery by the media. But what if they really are alien technology used for surveillance or even communication? No. 1. The UFO crash at Roswell. One of the most famous alien abduction stories ever told is the tale of a UFO that crashed near Roswell, New Mexico, in 1947. At first, local media reported that the military had recovered the flying disc and that the occupants were being held at a hospital in Roswell. But within hours, the military denied these claims, insisting that the wreckage was actually from a crashed balloon. For years, this was the official story, with many believing that the government had concocted the UFO story to cover up their weather balloon project called Mogul. However, in the late 1970s, the crash was reopened as a UFO investigation, with many still convinced that the government is hiding evidence of extraterrestrial life from the public, while the truth of the Roswell incident remains unknown. It's clear that something extraordinary did happen in the desert that summer, forever cementing it in UFO lore. Thanks for watching. Do you believe in aliens? Let me know your thoughts below and make sure to stay tuned for more awesome videos. See you next time. Bye.